Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to introduce today's presentation on the Regenerative Future Act. We'll be exploring how this initiative aims to build climate-resilient communities across the nation. The focus is on empowering sustainable agriculture, circular economies, and inclusive growth. Over the next few minutes, we'll look at the key goals and strategies behind this important legislation. So let's get started. Welcome to our discussion on the Regenerative Future Act. This legislation is focused on building climate-resilient communities across the country. At its core, it emphasizes creating economic opportunities by adopting circular economy models, which means reusing and recycling resources to reduce waste and enhance sustainability. The Act envisions a future where local food security and sustainable practices become the driving forces behind economic growth. This approach not only supports environmental health, but also boosts local economies by empowering communities to produce and access their own food sustainably. Supporting community-driven sustainability initiatives is a key part of this legislation. It aims to foster environments where communities can thrive through sustainable agriculture, ensuring food security is localized and resilient against climate impacts. Furthermore, the Act is designed to promote climate resilience nationwide. It encourages the widespread adoption of scalable regenerative farming systems, which are vital for adapting to and mitigating the effects of climate change. Overall, the Regenerative Future Act is about empowering communities to take charge of their future, making them more sustainable, resilient, and prosperous in the face of climate challenges. Let's take a closer look at the key objectives of the Act. First, we have the federal grant program for perma-farm ecosystems. The goal here is to establish a federal fund that supports deploying these sustainable, climate-resilient farming systems in underserved communities, whether urban, suburban, or rural. This is about addressing food security while also promoting environmental sustainability, making sure we leave no community behind. Next, we move to trash-to-cash trade networks. This initiative is about legally recognizing and funding local waste trade systems. By incentivizing circular waste management, these networks not only promote recycling, but also empower communities economically through innovative solutions. It's about turning trash into a resource. Then, we have farm-to-school infrastructure support. Under the Everyone Eats program, this supports building the necessary infrastructure to connect local farms directly with schools. It includes agricultural education and farm partnerships, which help foster healthy eating habits for students and strengthen the bond between schools and local food producers. Moving on, the Homes with Heart incentives aim to integrate sustainable housing with emergency preparedness and food self-sufficiency. Through land use incentives and infrastructure grants, this initiative helps communities develop resilient homes that can support residents during times of crisis. Lastly, empowering nonprofits and cooperatives through the Infinity License is a vital part of this plan. By removing bureaucratic barriers and ensuring compliance, we make it easier for community organizations to operate efficiently and focus on their core missions, driving social and economic change from within communities. Overall, these objectives are all about building resilient, sustainable, and empowered communities, aligning perfectly with our vision for a regenerative future. Let's take a closer look at some of the major provisions in the Regenerative Future Act that are designed to build more resilient communities. First, Section 101 introduces perma-farm implementation grants. These grants are intended to support the installation, training, and evaluation of modular regenerative farming systems. What's exciting is that these grants are open to a diverse group, including schools, municipalities, veteran farms, tribal communities, and nonprofits, all working towards sustainable food production and land management. Moving on, Section 102 focuses on trash-to-cash trade credits. This section offers federal tax credits and matching grants to businesses that convert waste into reusable assets. Think about activities like composting, plastics upcycling, aquaponics, or textile repurposing, all ways to turn trash into valuable resources, reducing waste and creating economic opportunities. Next, the Everyone Eats Innovation Fund in Section 103 aims to support food-related initiatives. This includes upgrading kitchens, developing food preparation curricula, creating edible gardens, and training students and mentors. It works closely with USDA and extension offices to foster community engagement and improve local food systems. Section 104 addresses housing resilience with the Homes with Heart Infrastructure Fund. Here, grants are available for retrofitting community housing to incorporate water retention, food production, renewable energy, and emergency shelter features. The goal is to boost community resilience and sustainability, making neighborhoods more prepared for future challenges. Finally, Section 105 introduces the Nonprofit Empowerment Clause, which codifies the Infinity License. This license grants nonprofits free, perpetual access to regenerative system designs, simplifying innovation. The process only requires simple verification and annual impact reporting, ensuring that nonprofits can continuously support regenerative practices without unnecessary barriers. Altogether, these provisions tie into our broader theme of fostering sustainable, resilient communities through innovative funding, resource sharing, and strategic support. Let's take a closer look at the funding and policy oversight section of the Regenerative Future Act. One of the key elements here is the advisory seats. These are intentionally diverse, including nonprofit leaders, indigenous councils, youth coalitions, and technical stewards. The goal is to ensure that governance is truly inclusive, reflecting a broad range of community voices. This kind of structure helps promote alignment within communities and encourages engagement from a variety of stakeholders, which is essential for the success of regenerative initiatives. Moving on, we have the Joint Task Force responsible for administering the program. This team is composed of representatives from the Department of Agriculture, Housing and Urban Development, and the Environmental Protection Agency. By working together, these agencies can coordinate effectively, ensuring oversight is comprehensive and aligned with the overall goals of the Act. This collaborative approach is vital for managing complex, multi-sector projects that impact many parts of the community. Finally, the Act reallocates existing discretionary funds from these agencies to establish a substantial grant pool, $500 million annually over 5 years. This funding is designed to support innovative projects across different sectors, encouraging creative solutions to climate resilience and community development. Overall, this framework combines inclusive governance, effective oversight, and significant financial support to help build a more resilient and sustainable future for our communities. Let's take a closer look at the program integration snapshot. On this slide, we see how the Regenerative Future Act is shaping resilient communities. First, we have the Hearths with Hearts initiative. This program uniquely combines rotational hosting and housing stability with a focus on cultural stewardship. Essentially, it creates a cycle where communities can host different groups, ensuring stability while honoring cultural traditions. An optional but impactful feature is the attachment of mini perma farm nodes. These nodes provide crucial access to food, water, and power, demonstrating how housing resilience can be integrated with sustainable resource management. It's about creating communities that are self-sufficient and adaptable. Then we move to Happy Harvest. This part leverages the infrastructure of perma-farm to boost regenerative food production. It's not just about growing food, but doing so in a way that restores the land. Additionally, it creates employment opportunities through co-stewardship, encouraging community involvement and shared responsibility. Overall, these programs exemplify the Act's broader goal: building resilient, empowered communities that are capable of withstanding climate challenges while fostering sustainability and cultural integrity. Let's take a closer look at some of the key tools and frameworks we're implementing to activate our coalition effectively. First, we have digital tools for activation, which include Zoom orientations to bring everyone together easily, autofill GoFundMe templates to streamline fundraising efforts, donor auctions to boost community engagement, and shared documentation dashboards to keep everyone on the same page. These tools help us make the activation process smoother and more transparent, ensuring that all stakeholders can participate effectively. Moving on, our coalition collaboration framework emphasizes the importance of aligned efforts. This means participating groups will sign memoranda of understanding to formalize commitments, work together on synchronized builds to maintain momentum, and share progress regularly through videos and drone footage. Encouraging monthly peer check-ins fosters ongoing collaboration and accountability, which is vital for our collective success. Now, regarding financial resources, the surplus revenue education clause is designed to ensure that any profits beyond operational costs are reinvested into the community. Priority areas include essentials, child education, apprenticeships, infrastructure maintenance, and community expansion, basically directing funds toward sustainable growth. Finally, the Rapid Deployment Authorization Clause gives us the ability to act swiftly when setting up projects like perma-farm and reclamation hubs. Once schools or nonprofits agree, we can immediately activate land use and labor without going through lengthy permit processes. This rapid response capability is crucial for timely action in our regenerative efforts. Together, these tools and frameworks are all about making our activation process more efficient, transparent, and aligned with our overarching goal of building resilient, thriving communities. Now, let's walk through the step-by-step action plan to make the Regenerative Future Act a reality. First, we need to identify legislative champions, those key policymakers who can champion this initiative. Once we have them on board, it's important to polish and format our proposal into a professional legislative briefing packet. This should include an executive summary, impact snapshot, and tailored cover letters to clearly communicate our vision to stakeholders. Next, we focus on building a strong coalition of endorsements. This means engaging with committees related to agriculture, sustainability, education, and housing at local, state, and federal levels. Having these endorsements is crucial because they lend credibility and influence to our efforts. After that, we should schedule introductory meetings with a variety of groups, nonprofits, educators, housing organizations, farmers, and tribal networks. These conversations help us gain grassroots support and media attention, amplifying our message and building momentum. Following that, launching public awareness campaigns is essential. We can arrange short, 15-minute meetings with elected officials or their staff, supported by pitch decks and talking points. This step is about clearly communicating our policy vision and securing their buy-in. Finally, we need to apply for institutional partnerships and funding. We can do this by sharing stories through op-eds, interviews, and highlighting programs like Everyone Eats and Homes with Heart. These efforts help build broader community engagement and sustain the momentum for our initiative. Together, these steps form a comprehensive approach to turn our vision into action. Now, let's talk about the final note on this journey, the collaborative coalition plan, working together for real change. The success of the Regenerative Future Act really hinges on collective effort. It's about bringing together diverse stakeholders, communities, nonprofits, government agencies, and indigenous groups to build resilient systems that can feed, house, and empower people. Teamwork is at the heart of creating sustainable impact. When we work together, we can ensure that regenerative infrastructure and circular economy models don't just exist, they scale equitably across the nation. This isn't just about small projects, it's about making a lasting difference that benefits everyone. And we can't wait to ignite immediate action. The sooner we come together, the faster we lay the foundation for a regenerative future, one that truly benefits all of us. The goal of the Collaborative Coalition Plan is to create systems that empower and sustain communities. It emphasizes the importance of scaling regenerative practices fairly and broadly across the country. So, in essence, this is about uniting efforts, taking action now, and building a future that's resilient, equitable, and regenerative for generations to come.